Welcome back from the break. One of the themes of our show in 2010 was covering the ongoing power crisis in Pakistan, with electricity capacity unable to meet the usage demands of businesses and residences. This is an issue that the government and industry have been hard at work on to address, and little by little, improvements are being made. Over to Adil for the latest.
Yes, Ahmar. With the help of different projects, Karachi Electricity Supply Corporation managed to increase the power generation capacity of the country by 450 megawatts. We have more details in this report. Karachi Electric Supply Corporation has added a total of 450 megawatts to the power supply network in 2010 through its different efficient projects. A 220 megawatt combined cycle power plant was launched, whereas two gas turbine plants project with a total production of 180 megawatt plant were completed at site and Kurangi in record time. A 150 megawatt Agrico rental power plant started power generation, and KESC started to receive 14 megawatts from Tawarki steel mills and 15 megawatts from Al Abbas textile mills under its captive power network scheme. 3 of 4 turbines of KESC's prime 560 megawatt BQPS2 arrived from France that are presently being installed at the site. The project will partly start generation in 2011 and will be fully operational in 2012, while 44% work has already been completed. KESC's transmission and distribution network were extensively upgraded during the outgoing year. In 2010, KESC signed a power supply agreement with PEPCO, while a fuel supply agreement was finalized with PSO. Both the landmark agreements are meant to ensure smooth supply of power for the city. KESC launched several future-oriented projects which would create a long-standing impact on the whole energy sector in the country. 3 projects relate to exploiting alternate fuel sources in view of the fast-expanding gap between supply and demand of existing fuels like gas and oil. The first is related to converting power turbines, presently run by either gas or oil, to coal fire. Study work on this project has already been started, and the KESC would possibly be producing 400 megawatts of power through coal generation by 2012. KESC has already held extensive meetings on supply of imported coal from various companies in Indonesia and South Africa. This coal would be available in Pakistan at a price equal to gas and 1/3 of oil. The second project is related to import of liquid gas, which is easily available in the international market. KESC has been talking to different companies in the United States, Europe and Japan to examine available options of liquid gas import. While the third plan is to produce biogas, the preliminary study and paperwork on this project has been completed during 2010, according to which animal waste would be acquired from milk-producing farms in Lundy and used to produce biogas to run generation plants. Year 2010 would always be remembered as a record year of achievements for KESC.
Our first story of the week talked about the death of Salman Taseer, who was a prominent member of the Pakistan People's Party. But this week marked another landmark of sorts for the PPP, when the birthday of the founder of the party was observed. Back to Faria for the overview.
Yes, Ahmar. Pakistan People's Party is the largest political party in Pakistan. This week, Pakistanis celebrated the birthday of the founding member of Pakistan People's Party, called Zulfikar Ali Bhutto. Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, often known as Zulfi, is also known as the moderate face of Pakistan. Let's find out the details in this report.
Many in present times remember the dynamic personality of Benazir Bhutto, the first female Muslim Prime Minister in the world, who was tragically assassinated in 2007. But Bhutto, as she confesses in her book Daughter of East, was only a footstep follower of her father, Zulfikar Ali Bhutto. Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, whose 82nd birthday was celebrated in Pakistan this week, is known as the founder of Pakistan People's Party. Ceremonies in this regard were held across the country. Bhutto was born in Larkana, Pakistan, the only son of Sir Shah Nawaz Bhutto. He completed his early education in Bombay. After completing his initial education, he went to the United States in 1947 to study at the University of Southern California and later transferred to the University of California in Berkeley. While at Berkeley, he was the first Asian student to be elected to the Berkeley Student Council. From Berkeley, he earned a degree in political science, after which he went to Oxford and studied at Christ Church College, from where he graduated with honours. Following his time at Oxford, he was called to the bar at Lincoln's Inn in 1953. This is the place which had also been attended by Allama Iqbal and Muhammad Ali Jinnah, the two great leaders of Pakistan. The same year, his first child was born, a daughter by the name Benazir, who was to later become the first female Prime Minister of Pakistan. In 1958, Bhutto joined the cabinet of Iskandar Mirza. From there, he was active in the Pakistani government, working at various posts. In 1966, he resigned from the cabinet after serving as foreign minister. The next year, he founded the Pakistan People's Party in Lahore. He then became an advocate for the return of democracy to Pakistan and increased his political influence. 1970 brought great victories for the Pakistan People's Party in Pakistani elections, which gave Bhutto great power. Following the war in 1971, he took over control of Pakistan from Ayub Khan. In 1973, he was officially made Prime Minister. This time, his time as Prime Minister saw many reforms passed such as land reform and nationalization of industries, which reflected the socialist values of the Pakistan People's Party. Bhutto was Prime Minister between two eras of martial law, making him the only Prime Minister from 1973 until 1977. Prior to 1973, there had been no Prime Minister since 1958. After 1977, the office of Prime Minister would be suspended until 1985. Bhutto also oversaw the beginning of the development of nuclear weapons by Pakistan. In 1977, Bhutto was overthrown by General Zia-ul Haq, who declared martial law and had Bhutto arrested. In 1979, Bhutto was executed by hanging on charges that he had murdered political opponents. Many Pakistanis still believe that this was a conspiracy. He is buried in his ancestral village of Larkana next to his father, daughter and two sons. Many believe in the jinxed mythology of the Bhutto dynasty. Benazir writes in her biography that her father always reminded her that her bones belonged to Larkana and that is where they would return. True to this prophecy, the White Dome in Gari Khuda Bakhsh hides not just the remains of Zulfikar Bhutto but also his beloved daughter, Benazir Bhutto.
Earlier this year, the government announced a grand package for Balochistan named as Aghaaz-e-Huquq-e Balochistan. The people of Balochistan were called traitors on demanding their rights in the past. The Constitutional Committee on Balochistan package held 29 meetings to materialize it. The chairman of the committee, Senator Raza Rabbani, believed that this package will not be a substitute for the provincial autonomy, but it would be a great relief for the common people of the province. This package consists of constitutional, economic, social and political proposals for the province. The federal government has already written off 7.5 billion rupees draft which Balochistan had to pay to the federal government. While addressing to the parliament, Prime Minister Gilani expresses his views over this package. The democracy and the supremacy can only be strengthened with addressing the problems of the provinces. The people of Balochistan would be given equal rights as are being enjoyed by the people of other provinces.
Our time is almost up this week, but just enough left for one more story out of Islamabad, and a curious and interesting story at that. Priya, what do you have?
Yes, Ahmar, talk about being independent, going out there and solving your problems. We introduce you to a man who made a little workshop on his bicycle. Let's find out the details in this report.
Hell is nothing else but a state of mind. This was said by Milton, a famous poet. So business, it means, could be a workshop of thoughts. And Muhammad Atiq, an upcoming businessman, proved this when he built his little workshop on his bicycle. Yes, the two-wheeled vehicle is now equipped enough to work like a little mobile workshop, which could help utilizing the purposes of repair work. The main purpose of this act was to curb the rising prices of renting an office or a workplace. The idea has worked, and today Atiq is not only self-reliant but is already making plans to expand this small business. All day long, Atiq travels in the streets of Islamabad in search of business, and he is usually not disappointed.
सरमाया ना होने की वजह से
Having no income, I started this work. I had the skill set to weld and knew the work, so started a mobile welding workshop.
मोबाइल सिस्टम शुरू किया है मोबाइल वेल्डिंग वर्क्स
Atiq said he took inspiration from great business tycoons like Alan Sugar, who started their business with small amounts and climbed up the ladder of life with sheer hard work. Life is not about Cinderella syndrome, where your fairy godmother may never appear, he said. Today, it is all about competition, so to move ahead, innovation is important. And the magic wand that one may be waiting for comes in the form of one's own hands. With these inspirational thoughts, it is no wonder that Atiq seems to have come a long way.
सियासी शख्सियात के घर काम किया है जैसे सुल्तान रही
I have worked for different political leaders like Ghulam Ali, Sherpao, and many others.
और गुलाम अली साहब हो गए.
Today, his clients comprise people from all walks of life: housewives, working women, doctors, bureaucrats, and even politicians. Being friendly, he said, was an important tool for success. Many of his clients have now become his regulars and also his friends. Atiq says he never forgets to drop them a phone call on their birthdays or anniversaries. Some of them welcome him to their houses. The little community of customers has now become almost like a part of his family. The future plan for Atiq is simple. He wants to own a workshop, a small two-roomed place where he would be running his business with the help of others like him. Until then, he is destined to ride on his workshop, hoping for an even more promising tomorrow.
Benazir Employee Stock Scheme was launched on August 14, 2009 with the objective to empower the workers of the respective state-owned entities through free-of-cost distribution of unit certificates. This was done to ensure their participation in decision-making by having one of the nominees on the board of directors. Under this scheme, the government will distribute free of cost 12% Government of Pakistan shares under the Benazir Employee Stock Option Scheme to the workers of Pakistan Telecommunication Company Limited, National Bank of Pakistan, Habib Bank Limited, and the Industrial Development Bank of Pakistan. The employees are also eligible to get regular dividend against their unit certificates. The Benazir Employee Stock Scheme has already started bearing fruits as an amount of Rs 1.613 billion have been disbursed among 16,044 employees of 7 entities, while PC has received Rs 1.452 billion in its revolving fund. These companies include Oil and Gas Development Corporation Limited, Pakistan Petroleum Limited, Pakistan State Oil, Mari Gas, Pakistan National Shipping Corporation, Lakra Coal and Development Corporation, and National Insurance Company Limited. The 230 employees of 4 entities, namely OGDC, PPL, PNSC, and PSO, are being given compensation claims worth Rs 1.104 billion, which is under process of verification and audit.
And that's all from us and our first show of 2011 for Pakistan This Week. As always, we love hearing from you, so keep writing in to ptw@cnbcpakistan.com. That's ptw@cnbcpakistan.com. Join us again next week at the same time as we explore Pakistan together. And as always, keep watching CNBC.